wasn't always like this," she explained, warming her hands on her mug. "When he first took over as CEO, he was driven but fair. Something changed about 5 years ago. He became colder, more demanding. Around the time I started," Marcus mused. "I've only ever known him as the Iceman." Claire laughed at the nickname. "That's apartment. But this week has been strange. He cancelled 2 major meetings, disappeared for an entire afternoon, and now he's rehiring you with better terms? It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers." Their conversation flowed easily, moving from Harrington to their own lives. Marcus found himself telling Claire about Lily, about his wife's death from a car accident 3 years ago, about the devastating diagnosis that had come just 6 months later. Claire listened with genuine empathy, her hand occasionally touching his in comfort. "I'd love to meet her sometime," Claire said when he showed her a photo of Lily. "She has your smile. She has her mother's everything else, thank God," Marcus joked, surprised by how natural it felt to talk to Claire. They parted with an exchange of phone numbers and a promise to have lunch the following week. As Marcus headed home, he realized he was smiling for the first time in days. Lily was delighted by the news of his rehiring, though she understood little of the corporate politics involved. "Does this mean we can still go to Disney World someday?" she asked as he tucked her in that night. "Someday," he promised, kissing her forehead. "When you're all better. And can we invite your new friend Claire? She sounds nice." Marcus chuckled. "Maybe. We'll see." The weekend passed peacefully. On Sunday, Marcus took Lily to the park, bundling her up against the December chill. As she played on the swings, his phone buzzed with a text from Claire. "Thinking about you and Lily. Hope you're having a good weekend." The simple message warmed him more than it should have. He typed back, "At the park watching a certain 8-year-old conquer the monkey bars. She's asking about you." Claire's response came quickly, "Tell her I can't wait to meet her. Maybe hot chocolate sometime this week?" Marcus agreed, a flutter of anticipation in his chest that he hadn't felt in years. Monday morning found him back at Pinnacle, the familiar routine both comforting and strange after his brief absence. Co-workers welcomed him back with varying degrees of surprise and warmth. By lunchtime, the office was buzzing with speculation about his unprecedented return. Claire met him in the cafeteria, her smile brightening his day. "The prodigal employee returns," she teased, sliding into the seat across from him. "Apparently so. Though I'm still not entirely sure why." "Well, I have a theory," Claire leaned forward conspiratorially. "Harrington's assistant Sandra is a friend of mine. She says he received a visitor last Tuesday, a woman he seemed to know well. They argued loudly enough that Sandra could hear parts of it through the door." Marcus raised an eyebrow. And apparently, this mystery woman was berating him for becoming exactly like their father, cold, calculating, putting business before humanity. "Sandra thinks it might have been his estranged wife, but I'm betting it was a sister." Marcus nearly choked on his sandwich. "A sister? But he told me his sister died when they were children." Claire's eyes widened. "He told you that? Richard Harrington actually shared personal information with you? During our meeting on Friday. He said he lost his sister to bone cancer when they were young." Claire shook her head slowly. "That's not right. I've been to company events where his sister was present. Elizabeth, I think her name is. She's very much alive, though they don't seem close." The revelation left Marcus unsettled. Why would Harrington lie about something so significant? And what did it have to do with his sudden change of heart? The answer came sooner than expected. That afternoon, Harrington called Marcus into his office again. "Ellis, I owe you an explanation," he began without preamble. "I wasn't entirely truthful with you on Friday." Marcus sat stiffly, bracing himself. "My sister didn't die of cancer. She survived, against all odds, according to the doctors. Harrington's gaze was fixed on a point beyond Marcus's shoulder. But our family was never the same. My father became obsessed with work, with success, with proving that he could control something in a world that had nearly taken his daughter. He neglected us emotionally. Pushed us to achieve at any cost. Marcus remained silent, sensing there was more. Last week, Elizabeth came to see me. We haven't spoken in years, my choice, not hers. She told me that our father died. Harrington's voice was carefully controlled. Heart attack. Alone in his office on a Sunday night. I'm sorry for your loss, Marcus offered automatically. Harrington's laugh was hollow. Are you? I'm not sure I am. The man was a tyrant. But his death forced me to confront some uncomfortable truths about myself. He finally met Marcus's eyes. I've become him, Ellis. The man I swore I'd never be. Cold. Uncompromising. Valuing spreadsheets over people. The confession hung in the air between them, raw and unexpected. When I fired you for putting your daughter's needs above company policy, I was my father incarnate. Harrington stood and walked to the window. Elizabeth made that painfully clear. She asked me what I thought I was building that was worth sacrificing my humanity for. Marcus shifted uncomfortably, unused to this vulnerable version of his boss. We all make mistakes. Some mistakes have greater consequences than others. Harrington turned back to him. Your daughter's treatment, is it working? We think so. The doctors are cautiously optimistic. Good. That's good. Harrington returned to his desk. I've made some changes to your benefits package. The company will cover any medical expenses not handled by your insurance. Retroactively and going forward. Marcus stared at him, speechless. It's the least I can do, Harrington continued. And perhaps you could tell me more about your daughter sometime. What she likes, what she's interested in. I'd like to send her something. If that's appropriate. She loves unicorns, Marcus found himself saying. And science. She wants to be a doctor when she grows up. A ghost of a smile touched Harrington's lips. A noble ambition. As Marcus left the office, his mind reeled with the surreal conversation. The iceman was melting, revealing something unexpectedly human beneath. The weeks that followed brought changes both subtle and profound. Harrington remained demanding and exacting in business matters, but a new consideration tempered his approach. He asked about Lily regularly, with what seemed like genuine interest. When she had to be hospitalized briefly in January, he insisted Marcus work remotely and sent an enormous unicorn plush that barely fit through the hospital room door. Meanwhile, Marcus's friendship with Claire deepened. Their coffee meetings became dinner dates. She accompanied him to Lily's doctor appointments when he needed support. By Valentine's Day, what had begun as workplace camaraderie had blossomed into something neither had expected to find. She makes you happy, Lily observed one evening as Claire helped her with a science project at their kitchen table. You laugh more now. Marcus smiled, watching the two most important people in his life bond over papier-mâché planets. She does make me happy. Is that okay with you? Lily rolled her eyes with the exasperation only an 8-year-old could muster. Duh, Dad. I've been telling you to ask her to be your girlfriend for weeks. Claire looked up, paint smudged adorably on her cheek, and winked at him. Yeah, Dad. What are you waiting for? That night, after Lily was asleep and the solar system project was drying on the counter, Marcus and Claire stood in his small kitchen, washing dishes side by side. Did you mean it? He asked quietly. About us? Claire set down the plate she was drying and turned to face him. I've meant everything I've said to you, Marcus. Every word. The moment stretched between them, full of possibility. Then, with a courage born of second chances, Marcus leaned forward and kissed her. It was gentle at first, tentative, but deepened as Claire's arms wound around his neck. When they finally pulled apart, both slightly breathless, Claire smiled up at him. "Took you long enough." Marcus laughed, feeling lighter than he had in years. "I've been a bit preoccupied." "I know." She touched his face tenderly. "That's one of the things I love about you." The word hung in the air, new and exhilarating. Marcus pulled her close again, marveling at how life could change so completely in just a few months. Spring brought more good news. Lily's doctors declared her in remission, though they cautioned that regular monitoring would be necessary for years to come. The day they received the news, Marcus, Claire, and Lily celebrated with ice cream sundaes the size of their heads. "I think this calls for a bigger celebration," Claire said, watching Lily attack her dessert with gusto. "What do you say we plan that Disney World trip for summer break?" Lily's eyes grew enormous. "Really? Can we really go?" Marcus hesitated. Even with his improved salary and benefits, such a trip would be a stretch. "We'll have to save up." "Actually," Claire interrupted, "I may have already started a Disney fund. And I may have mentioned it to a certain CEO who may have insisted on contributing." Marcus blinked in surprise. "Harrington? He wants to help send Lily to Disney World?" Claire nodded. "He asked me what would make her happy when she got better. I might have planted the idea." "The Iceman cometh through," Marcus murmured, shaking his head in wonder. "People can change," Claire said softly. "Sometimes they just need a reason." As they finished their ice cream, making plans and dreaming of roller coasters and princess castles, Marcus reflected on the strange journey of the past few months. From despair to hope, from isolation to connection, from a pink slip to a promise of a future, all because one man had found his humanity again, and one woman had helped Marcus rediscover his capacity for joy. That night, as he tucked Lily into bed, she asked sleepily, "Daddy, are you and Claire going to get married someday?" Marcus smoothed her hair, now growing back in soft curls. "Would you like that?" Lily nodded, her eyes drifting closed. "Then we'd be a real family again." "We're already a real family, Pumpkin. Just a different kind than before." "But bigger is better," she mumbled, sleep claiming her. Marcus stood in the doorway, watching his daughter's peaceful slumber. Once, not so long ago, he'd felt completely broken, by grief, by illness, by a cruel boss who couldn't see beyond the bottom line. Now, somehow, those very breaks had let in new light, new love, new possibilities. The next morning, Richard Harrington called Marcus into his office again. This time, there was no tension, no dread. "I hear congratulations are in order," Harrington said, gesturing for Marcus to sit. "Claire told me about Lily's remission." "Thank you. We're cautiously celebrating." Harrington nodded. "As you should be. I've taken the liberty of arranging something." He slid an envelope across the desk. "Disney World reservations for the three of you. All expenses paid. Consider it a company wellness initiative." Marcus stared at the envelope. "Sir, I can't accept." "You can and you will," Harrington interrupted, echoing Kate's words from months before. "My sister will be joining you, actually. With her children. She thought it might be healing for all of us." Understanding dawned on Marcus. "This isn't just about Lily, is it?" Harrington's smile was small but genuine. "Let's say it's about second chances. Something we could all use from time to time." As Marcus left the office, envelope in hand, he felt a profound sense of closure. The cruel boss who had once broken him completely was gone, replaced by a man learning to balance ambition with compassion. And in that transformation, Marcus had found his own path to healing. That evening, as he shared the news with Claire over dinner, she reached across the table to take his hand. "You know what this means, don't you?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "That Lily's going to be impossible to live with until June?" Claire laughed. Besides that, it means we're officially taking a vacation together. That's a big step. Marcus squeezed her hand. I think we're ready for it. For all of it. Later, as they stood on his small balcony watching the stars come out, Claire leaned her head against his shoulder. Did you ever imagine, when Harrington fired you, that it would lead to all this? Marcus wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her closer. Not in my wildest dreams. I thought my world was ending. And instead? He turned to face her, cupping her cheek in his palm. Instead, I found out that sometimes when things fall apart, they're actually falling into place. Their kiss beneath the stars felt like a promise, of summer adventures, of family dinners, of a future neither had dared to hope for just a few months ago. One cruel decision had broken Marcus completely, but one kiss had changed everything forever. And as the city lights twinkled below them, Marcus knew with absolute certainty that some breaks were meant to happen, not to destroy us, but to rebuild us stronger than before. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of hope, redemption, and the unexpected ways love finds us even in our darkest moments. Remember, sometimes the end of one chapter is just the beginning of a better story.